Welcome to this week's video. In this episode we are sailing from Brighton to Dieppe. Right now we are in Guernsey. We've been to quite a few places. This is all happening probably about a month ago now, so we have caught up from where we were. We're hoping to catch up further and be a bit more real time and allow us to feed back into the videos a bit better. So in this episode...
we're going to prepare for our passage. So we're crossing to Dieppe, as Dave said. I think it was about 12 hours.
12 or 14, yeah, something like that.
So we were prepping for that. We had quite a few rough days in Brighton beforehand, which you might see a little bit of. And then, crossing over on a pretty dull crossing.
The passage was very easy, really calm and nice. We crossed one of the busiest traffic separation schemes in the world. And certainly it's there's not much space there because it's in the small part of the English Channel. Then we take you through, so if you're interested in the new EU EES system, please watch until the very end, or we put shortcuts in the comments description so you can skip through to that piece if you're just interested in that. We were some of the first to go through the new EES. We found out some more information since, which we might make a special video just on French customs and immigration for British people, because there's a lot of complexity and there's a lot of wrong information out there, which is gradually being corrected. We've fed back to a couple of organisations. So anyway, watch to the end if you're interested in that. Hope you enjoy the video and we'll see you next time. So we're just preparing for the passage this evening. What are you doing there, Jude?
I am cooking some chilli. Well, currently I'm finely chopping some onion, and don't look too closely at my finely chopping because Dave doesn't think I'm very good at chopping. I don't normally get allowed to use the big knife. Not in a threatening way. But yes, cooking some chili so that when we get we're heading to France tomorrow. Well, tomorrow very early in the morning. We think we're going to get up around 3 a.m. and it will be low tide at that point, but we'll get out of Brighton hopefully and then head across the channel, and it's about 12 to 14 hour passage over to Dieppe where we're heading. And so we're prepping our dinner now so that when we get in we don't really have to do much, or if we're late or anything happens we've got a passage dinner. And I'm going to chop some carrots as little snacks and then probably look at prepping some bits for sandwich and putting together in the morning.
There we are. So to add to what Jude was saying there, it's about 14 hours across. So by the time you've done that, you're just tired. We get in at the other end of these passages and just want to flop on the sofa, so it's nice to have something cooked and ready. It's also good if the passage ends up taking a lot longer to just have something that you can heat up and dish up on passage. Quite a few times we've run over the time that we thought we were going to be, and it's good to just get some food down you. So being prepared for that, we're going to make some sandwiches before we go and stuff. Elsewhere around the boat, we've done all of the maintenance that we can think of. I'm sure there's something that we're missing. I have got a gas system ready to go in that allows us to use European gas cylinders when we get there, or to do potentially refills of our own, depending on what we can find. Last time, before we started the channel, we went to France and the Channel Islands, and it was just after COVID, and getting gas was a real nightmare, so we don't want to get caught out with that again. And you'll remember, if you've been on the channel for very long, last year we had an absolute nightmare in Ireland going up the coast. So this year we're prepared, and yeah, there's not predicted to be much wind tomorrow. There's been 35 knots of wind last night and today. So we've just been waiting it out in Brighton Marina, which has got a huge wall around it, so it's pretty safe.
And we've been watching the swell like hit the wall. It just comes up and funnels because they've got these V-shaped things. And so the swell out there right now is just horrendous. So we didn't even want to leave today anyway, whereas we'd had a little bit more wind. The swell is just crazy still.
Yeah, it's maybe we'll try and get some B-roll of it, but the wall is kind of designed that the waves smash in between the big round pillars and it flings the water upwards, so it's quite spectacular sitting here in the marina. But yeah, we've got all of our paperwork done. So the when you leave the UK, you've got to fill in a small boat reporting form, which is much better than it used to be. It's on the internet now, but bizarrely, when you say you're leaving the UK, you have to tell them whether you owe VAT on the boat, which is silly. And then for the French side, we've had to fill in the PAF form, Police au Frontier. I am not a French speaker, sorry. So that's all sent off. We called the marina, they've been dredging, but it's all done by Monday. So there should be berths, and we think we're all prepared. We have this time, we've just been shopping, and we didn't buy very much, so instead of stocking up for this one, we've actually been eating down our supplies because we're not supposed to import stuff because the UK is no longer part of Europe or part of the EU, so things like dairy and meats we're not allowed to take in. Supposed to throw those away when we get there. There's limits on alcohol, stuff like that, so we're just going to do a big shop when we get there. We know France, we know there's decent shops, so that will be something to do on Tuesday, after we found the passport office and gone and checked in. So we'll leave it there and catch up on the passage. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and we have been up for about half an hour, been up to use the facilities and had a cup of tea. Very important for the British to start the day with a cup of tea. And as you can see, we've done a bit of planning just for crossing the channel. So the English Channel is really easy to cross. You essentially just point south. It's about 12 hours to cross in most of the narrower parts. So tide swooshes you one way and then swooshes you back the other way. But there is a lot of tide. There's also a TSS, traffic separation scheme. So that's this pink bit on the chart. And that essentially is big ships going from east to west and west to east, keeping them separated, etc. Oh, not got very good lighting there. Very bad lighting everywhere. Sorry about that. So yeah, we've chosen to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. We find it easier to have a bit of a sleep, then get up very, very early. By the time we then start getting tired, it's daytime. We can deal with the daytime. And do shifts and stuff, and then by the time night comes again, we've arrived, we can go to bed as normal. So overall it's slightly less tiring, basically. Yeah, we are in Brighton Marina right now. We're hoping to get to Dieppe today. That should be about 12 to 14 hours. Right now there is 0.2 knots of wind inside the marina, but there is an enormous marina wall. Yesterday it was 30 knots of wind, hence we didn't leave. So
and 2 metre swell, so we're hoping the swells all died down now.
Yeah, so the swell was horrid. We got some B-roll yesterday. Hopefully we have put that over a previous segment. We didn't want to leave in that. We're hoping it's much lower today. It's supposed to be about 1 metre out there right now. And the period is dropping, so it should be getting better through the day. So it should be a fairly comfortable ride. It's freezing cold out there. It's still April the 13th, so but yeah, our visas started on the 1st of April, so we're keen to go over and start using them. So with that, we are going to finish preparing and get going, and yeah, we'll tell you how it goes. Well, we're about an hour in, and we're making fairly good progress. We are motoring. There's about 2 knots of wind outside the marina once we've got out. We've got the main up, and it is giving us some drive. So we had fairly low revs on the engine, but we were still doing about 6 knots, which is nice. Nothing major to report so far. Both of us. That was just the hatch falling. We've just got a stupid plastic thing that slides down in, and then naturally you take it out, you put it next to a thing, and then it falls over because there's nowhere useful to store it on the boat. So thanks to Jeannot for that brilliant design. It's pretty standard though. But yeah, we're both on watch at the moment, because as you leave or arrive at a coastline, there can be pot markers and stuff, so we both like to be on deck looking out. And then in about an hour we're going to settle into a watch pattern and take in turns for a couple of hours each on deck. Quite often when it's a nice day we both sit on deck and read and stuff, but yeah, good to be actually moving for cruising purposes now, rather than just moving around and getting stuff done as we've been doing over the winter. So yeah, got the chart out on the table. We are marking our position on the chart every now and then, not really for any navigational purpose, just practice at using the paper stuff. And I guarantee in a month we'll stop doing that, because it's just a lot of work that's unnecessary these days. We've got so many backups and stuff. Anyway, gonna go and have a coffee now and just sit about bored.
So we were just sitting here having our coffee, and just behind me, we were chatting away, and just behind me this dolphin popped up. We think it was a rhesus dolphin because they were really like flat, like they had a round head. But not like a porpoise. They were small, like bigger than a porpoise, so we're pretty sure that's what it was. And they were just like floating around behind us for a little bit, and then they just disappeared, and now we can see them again in the background, and they're just like fishing or something. They're popping up on the water. It's very exciting, our first dolphins of the season. I love them, or not, I don't know what they were. Well, who knows? Yeah, we see them. Yes. But yeah, we're just progressing, having a coffee and keeping warm, and hoping the sun will come off shortly and heat us up. So I've just come down below and I'm making a bit of porridge. See my porridge here. We a couple of hours in now, going alright. It's a bit swelly, but nothing too drastic that we can't handle anyway. Feeling a bit tired, but all good normally really. Woke up around 3 AM, got prepped very slowly, and fine, like, so yeah, left by like 5. We wanted to leave around 3, which would have given us better time for arrival in Dieppe, but it was low tide at 3 AM, and Dieppe entrance is, although charted as deep enough, and we had 2 meters of tide, there is a mariner's notice to not leave if you've got a deep enough draft 2 hours either side of low water. So we left it and decided to be safe, and luckily we did, because we were coming out and had about 4 meters of water and there was 3 meters of tide. So if we're, although it probably would have been okay, it's just a bit scary, and I know people have run aground there, so it was worth watching. We could have gone out with our dinghy and tried to measure it, but it's just not, yesterday wasn't the day for that, and today it was calmer, and luckily we managed to get through. We are, yeah, hopefully arriving later this evening, not too late hopefully. We're going about 6 knots at the moment. We've got some tide pushing with us. We've got very low revs on, which is good. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I've been very apprehensive about going to France and
worried about not speaking the language, and I know everyone speaks English, so it's probably going to be okay in most places, but it feels rude, and I've been trying to learn French, and however much people say all those online courses are good, I don't think for general chit chat is the best. But anyway, we'll see. Hopefully all my French will suddenly babble out, and it will all be good. But yeah, but today I'm excited and glad to be getting there and starting our adventure, slowly sailing the French coast.
We're currently in the middle of the TSS, or Traffic Separation Scheme. It's one of the busiest in the world because the channel kind of compresses down, and lots of shipping are passing through here rather than going around Great Britain and Ireland. So we get hundreds of ships coming through here. The TSS itself is 20 miles wide in total, so it takes us about 4 hours to get across, 2 hours per lane, and there's a bit of a gap in the middle and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not as fraught as it used to be. So we've got AIS on board, everybody else can see us, we can see where they are, you can see if any collisions are coming up and just adjust slightly your course. The idea is that you have your ship's heading perpendicular at right angles to the shipping lane, and then you drift sideways with the tide, which allows the shipping to account for your movement more easily, and therefore they can avoid you if they need to, but they have priority all the way through. It's just when you're on AIS you can kind of see them. They'll turn a couple of degrees to go behind you, and you may never pass within a mile of them, so it's pretty chilled out. But I was thinking earlier, don't really like TSS's, it's really busy, and then we realised the TSS, if it wasn't here, the ships would still be here, but it would be complete chaos. So it's quite nice that they're all corralled into a couple of miles wide piece of sea, and everybody knows what the rules are. So yeah, and it's slightly easier today because we're motoring again. You can see behind me absolutely no ripples on the water from wind. So it's a nice day, and it's warmed up now that the sun is out. But we just wanted to get to France, so we're not waiting. We just waited 4 days for a weather window that wasn't gusting 30 knots, and we didn't want to wait another, I think it's 3 more days until there's actually good wind to cross the channel. So we just decided to motor. It's only 20 litres of diesel. It's frustrating, there's the drone of the engine and all that, and we'd rather be sailing, but at least we get to France, we can check in, we can do all the paperwork and stuff, start exploring the coast, and stock up on French food and French wine, and do all the things that French people do. So yeah, that's it for the update. Not much is happening. It's very tedious crossing, but it's got to be done.
So we just had a bit of excitement for our day. We're obviously on our course, and we've just got a direct heading straight across, and I was looking up and looked around the mast, and there's 2 port markers just in front of us, and we're right in the middle of the TSS. So it's not even, well no, sorry, we're not in the middle of it. We're not in the no boat zone, we're in the actual in the lane is what we're in. So it's just like 2 pots hanging around in the middle of the lane. Silly people.
We're about 4 hours away from Dieppe now, and as you can see, still no wind. Beautiful sunshine though, and it is UK time about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is why we get dinner ready the night before, because by the time we get in it will be, I think, about 8 o'clock local time, possibly slightly later. We're not really sure yet because the tides are pretty strong here. So instead of getting there 8 p.m, rushing to prepare something, it's easier just to have it ready. And we've decided, we're pretty hungry, we've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have dinner at 4 o'clock. So Jude is down below heating everything up, which is the chili that she was making yesterday. And we're just going to eat on passage. It's calm enough that we might actually put the table up in the cockpit, which we don't normally do on passage, because normally you just end up bumping into the table. But today it's kind of fine, so we'll probably put the table up and eat like normal human beings, rather than with bowls on our laps clutching at it and hoping we don't spill anything, which is what boat life is usually like, or often like, I suppose, not usually. For anybody that's considering it, just to warn you, it's not as civilized as you might imagine all of the time. So yeah, we've got to call up Dieppe when we get close to ask permission to enter the harbour. The ferry will be leaving at 6 o'clock, so that'll be long gone. The ferry only goes in once because it's winter time still. So yeah, we should have an easy entry, we hope. There's plenty of water in the entrance, so no worries there. And then there's 3 whole pontoons that we've been assured are completely empty, so we just go in and pick a berth and tie alongside for the night. And hopefully it will be nice and calm and relaxed in the marina. And we might even have a cheeky glass of wine before bed tonight in the sunshine to celebrate getting to France for the start of essentially a whole year over here. So yeah.
We're in France!
Yeah, we made it. Not that there was any real doubt today. No weather, motored all the way and it was sunny. But yeah, we're in Dieppe and it looks like a lovely harbour. We've never been before. So we're all tied on. We're not sure if we're in the right place. The marina isn't open until the morning. And we're not able to check in until tomorrow afternoon into the country. So yeah, we're just going to sit out on the boat and we'll have a quick glass of wine now and yeah, I don't know.
Sleep, probably.
Sleep, yeah, we've been up since 3 a.m. and we don't even know what time it is because some of our clocks have changed automatically and some haven't, so right, we will see you later.
Right, so it's the next morning now in Dieppe and we are about to, sorry, there's some fishing boats just going past. It is quite a noisy port, but we did sleep all through the night. But
yeah, overnight it was quiet. It's just
this morning
there's the occasional fishing boat coming and going.
I think it's one of the quieter ports that we've actually had overnight, to be fair.
Yes, it's certainly not the worst fishing port we've been in by a long stretch.
But yeah, anyway, so we are about to go to the marina office to start with, so that we need to go and check in with them, and then later this afternoon we're going to go and check in with the ferry port to do the official check-in to, I guess, France. But
to Schengen, technically.
Schengen, yeah, but then I was like, well, we got visas, so is it still Schengen? That's what I was going to say. Anyway.
Yeah, nobody really knows at this point because the European entry and exit system only went live a few days ago. So almost nobody has experience of sailing across and doing this.
Yeah.
Most sailors won't be sailing for another 2 months because it's still freezing.
Yeah.
It's 5 degrees out here. I can see Jude's breath.
We're both in shorts because we got up there like, sun's out, we're in France, it's going to be warm, we've come on deck and now I'm in a ferry jacket.
It's going to be 16 degrees later, so it will be plenty warm enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we look a bit dishevelled, we haven't showered yet. The showers are over in the marina office building, but we want to get the checking into the marina done first to get the codes to get to the showers. And we've got a few other admin tasks to do, so we're sort of having to prioritise which things we do and when.
One of those things is getting croissants.
Yeah, getting croissants is, you have to do that as soon as you get to France by law. For anybody visiting, that is a requirement. You also have to drink some French wine, etc. We'll explain as we go.
But yeah, so come with us and see some of what we do, because you probably won't be able to film, I guess, most of it. But welcome to France.
Yeah. Cool, let's get going.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just back from checking in over at the ferry terminal, and so we're all legally in France now, so we get to take the Q flag down, which we filmed putting up yesterday while we were at sea. It's more a tradition these days than a genuine requirement. It used to mean essentially unclean ship, kind of quarantine, hence the queue. These days it just sort of shows that you've just arrived, and I don't think anyone pays attention to it whatsoever. But it's the rules, so we follow the rules. It's always easier and better while you're travelling to just do what you're told and smile about it than try to argue or tell people that modern things should be modern.
And you get to play with flags.
And you get to play with flags. I was getting to that Dave loves flags. So I have a fairly extensive little collection of these courtesy flags. On the port spreader, which is the house flags, as in our house, you have like membership stuff. So I've got the Cornish flag over there because I'm Cornish. Oxford doesn't have a flag, Oxfordshire, that we can see. There are attempts at creating one, but they're not.
There's like a what do you call it?
Griffin?
Yeah, probably.
Or something, was it?
Like a crest or whatever.
But the research we've done showed that it isn't a traditional flag at all, so it sort of felt pointless getting one for Jude was born in Oxfordshire, obviously. Yeah, and I've got all of the countries that I've ever visited by boat. I've also got a bunch that we intend to visit by boat. And then once you've checked into the country, all of that rambling just because I was tying knots, you get to then hoist the country's courtesy flag on the starboard spreader. And the starboard spreader is used for signalling for official purposes. So you mustn't put your own house flags this side. And I have raised the French flag to the very top of this, because that takes precedence over the house flags on the other side. So my Cornish flag I raised slightly lower than this. It's just a mark of respect. All of this is just flag nerd nonsense. So if you've ever seen Big Bang Theory, Sheldon
flags.
would love this on Fun with Flags. But most of it isn't necessary. It's just a bit of fun. But the courtesy flag you should do as a mark of respect when you're in a country, and as an acknowledgement that you're going to follow the rules of that country. So there we are, French flag up, not flying very well.
Oh dear, Dave.
The wind will eventually sort that out. And we're officially here. The check-in process was really easy. We may go into that in a little bit, and we'll sit in the
full
cockpit.
details, but everyone was very helpful. I tried some very broken French, but we were understood, and
So we're
people
going
told
into it
us.
now.
No, I was just that was the brief bit. People told us we could speak English. Anyway,
Right. So the check-in process. Obviously, before we got here, we went and did some reading, the various pilot books. I went onto the Cruising Association website in the UK, looked at the RYA website in the UK, looked at the Dieppe website on Ports Normand, and most of it's wrong from what we can see. It was much easier than anybody kind of says. So when we were at the marina office, we're still not checked in at the marina office.
they know we're here.
Yeah, they know we're here. They've got the boat on the board, but they had computer problems this morning. But we spoke to the lady there, and she essentially said, yep, just go over to the ferry port and check in. It's open all day until 8 p.m. We are wildly out of season right now, so it's not because it's midsummer, even though you can see the blue sky behind us. This is April the 14th. This is still considered the sort of winter time in terms of the place. So we went over to the ferry terminal. It's not that long of a walk. People told us it was miles to get around.
I've done 11,000 steps today, so I guess it is.
Yeah.
We have walked back and forth a couple of times, so it's a
Well, we walked up to the
it's
office,
probably-
came back down, went up and had showers, came back down.
Yeah.
Then we walked around. We've been to two different boulangeries. Just excited to be in France.
But yeah, breakfast we had pain au chocolat and pain raisins.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thing.
we're waffling. Not that far around. Probably half a mile. We went across the two bridges, so you don't actually have to walk all the way around. Anyway, then we got to the ferry terminal, and there's a big sign saying reception. So we went to reception and said something in French.
Yeah, I tried to say. Oh, you want me to say it in French?
I want you to say it in French.
Nous sommes arrivés. I can't do it now. It's like public, isn't it? Nous sommes arrivés dans le bateau juste à la marina. On peut passer ici.
Yeah,
Was
but it
my
was
attempt.
voilier instead of
Oh yeah, I can't.
bateau. Anyway,
Yeah.
which is sailboat.
We'll sail
And
it.
Jude got about halfway through that, and the lady said, "You can speak English."
I did it twice because the first time I did it, there was
Oh,
a
yeah,
screen up. She couldn't really hear me, and my voice
And then
is
she
slightly
opened
crackly.
a little window.
And I
Jude-
got halfway through again, and she was like, "You can do it in English." I was like, "Okay, I was practicing my French."
Yeah.
But all right, I did it better, I think, than I just did for you guys.
Yeah. So anyway,
Probably
then we
all
said, "We've arrived by sailboat to the marina. We'd like to check into France." No problem. Wait here. They went off and spoke to the douane, the French police that do the border control here in Dieppe. Sometimes it's police aux frontières rather than the douanes. It doesn't matter as far as the person checking in is concerned. They're just the officials. We were told to sit down and wait, and then
Within like 2 minutes.
about 2 minutes later, the guy came out and said, "Okay, you're next." We
'Cause
walked
he was
in.
checking in some other people at that time. There were like a bunch of.
Yeah, it looked like
guys.
there was a queue of about 15 people,
Yeah.
and within 2 minutes they were all finished and they left. We assumed that they were commercial mariners or something on a cargo ship or whatever. So the port is open all day. The douanes are there all day, and they will check you in any time, and they're really friendly, and they also spoke English. So the guy got our passports, asked if we had sent the pre-avis form, which you can get on the Ports Normand website. That gives you the email addresses of the marinas to send it to. So you send it to the marina you're going to, who will then forward it to the office. We assume that all went well because we've been checked in.
And yeah, and he asked, and we said yes, and
Yeah.
didn't question it anymore.
He looked at the passports, saw that we had visas. It didn't seem to matter to him that we had visas. That was just part of the conversation. And then he put the passport on the machine. We each did our fingerprints on the new system, the electronic entry system. And we were done. And I said, all electronic now, we don't need stamps. No stamps. All good. So
Yeah. And
That
then
was easy.
we thanked-
The whole process took about a minute,
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it was really quick going through.
Yeah.
So quiet, and we left and there was no one else there, so all the guys had been checked in and all of that,
Yeah.
and they were just there.
And
I think
so-
they're training new people as well.
Yeah, because it's out of season, so they'll be ramping up for summer with new staff. So the advice on the internet to go when the ferry arrives, because there will be people around, do not do that.
Yeah, I don't know how, that would have been chaos, really.
Yeah, when the ferry arrives, most of the border force people will be in the booths checking in cars, and there will be thousands of people walking around in the ferry terminal, so don't do that. We went, there were those 15 guys, and we were just unlucky that they were there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go when it's quiet, because they've got nothing else on. So, better time to check in is when it's empty. And yeah, just, it's not as hard as people seem to make out. Even the visa process, we never went into that, but back in December the visa process was easy as well.
Yeah, I guess the visas, there was lots of forms to fill out, but most of it was pretty standard. And
Yeah.
like, I guess I have a slightly more complex thing because my parents live here, so I had to list them, whereas most people, I guess, don't have family,
Yeah.
like close family that live here because they don't really care about, I guess, extended.
But that whole process was just read the instructions, do what the instructions say, and be organised.
Yeah,
And-
and like even we just had a lot of printing to do, and I think that's a bit of a shame because I'm sure they could do that slightly better, or we could submit them via email and whatnot.
I'm
but
sure
yeah.
it will go electronic before
Eventually,
long.
yeah.
This year, the whole of the EU were going to the electronic entry system, so they've got a lot on their plates. And I'm sure over time, all of that printing will be replaced.
Yeah, well, I guess it's in theory fairly new as well, isn't it? But it's, so eventually it will improve. Like before, it was obviously used by certain people, but not like it's only really like Australians. It wasn't really a UK thing before, was it? Until Brexit
Anyone
came
that's
along.
not EU, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there were
So-
less people using it probably previously, and now
Yeah.
everyone wants to go to France.
So big thumbs up for the whole process, just all really easy. The other thing to note, we had to tell the guy that we arrived yesterday. We sent the form the day before yesterday. He was cool with that. Generally speaking, border control are not worried about the people that self-present to check in. That part of it is all just theatre to make it look like there's a border. So the job of the people in the port is to make it look like they're controlling the border, rather than to catch criminals that aren't. The actual police outside are chasing down those people. But they made it so easy, and everyone was relaxed. We went to the marina this morning. They had obviously walked around and seen our boat, wrote down the name.
Yeah.
In the berth that we're in, they didn't mind that we just picked a berth and tied on. Border control didn't mind that we waited a day before checking in. So yeah, really relaxed.
And I guess even if there were questions, it turns out we could have arrived, we could have gone in, but because of everything we'd read on the internet, we assumed we could only go with the ferries. So we were like, oh well, that's either at 4 a.m. or 3 p.m. And it's like, okay, we'll come do that today afternoon because we'd missed it because it was 7, and then obviously the marina office had closed at 6, so we missed them for them to tell us that we could have checked in at 8 o'clock until 8. So yeah, it's good for everyone else to know that if you do turn up and the marina's closed, you still could go and check in
until 8
although they're
p.m.
relaxed. Yeah.
So that's our check-in process all done. We bought a baguette on the way back, so we're going to have that with some brie and some pate right now in the cockpit. Going to take off this snug because it's really, really warm.
Yeah, we look like we're dressed for different weather.
Yes. It was 5 degrees this morning. It's up to about 16 degrees now, probably.
Yeah. And as it is obviously still April, which you said, but there's a chill to the air. So when the wind blows, it's chilly wind.
Yeah.
Still.
But definitely try cruising in April. Anyway, we'll leave you there. Got to go and eat. Thanks for watching, and please join us next time when we sail to St Valery-en-Caux over a 3.5 metre drying height beach. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.